The AGITO Sports is our free roaming drive end for the AGITO system. It removes the need for laying track for smooth tracking shots, resulting for a faster shoot turnaround and unrestricted camera movement at any speed over any terrain. To install the drive end into the core, you will need 8 3/8" countersunk bolts, a 5/16" hex driver, 2 quick release steering pins and a wheel nut spanner. First, place the core on a raised surface, such as a case or apple box. Check that the drive end attachment area on the core is clear of any obstruction and the pins on both drive end and the core are not showing any signs of damage. Grab the drive end with 2 hands, aligning the 2 prongs with the slots on the core. Making sure that nothing is trapped in the process, then give it a gentle push into the core. Once in place, fasten with 4 3/8" countersunk bolts and then repeat for the other drive end. The steering linkage can then be lined up with the actuator and steering pin inserted, holding down the blue button on the top until it clicks into place. If necessary, the actuator can be manually twisted into position when the power is off. To fit the wheels, align the inside of the wheel with the hex on the drive shaft and then push the wheel into place. Once it is pushed all the way on, fasten up the wheel nut and tighten using the provided wheel spanner. You can now attach the payload to your system, which we will cover in a different video. When you have loaded your system up, you'll have to adjust the suspension height so that the lower wishbones are level. If they are too high or too low, you risk adding extra wear onto the system. To adjust the suspension height, twist the preload nut on each of the 4 shocks until the lower wishbones are fully level when the payload is fitted. You should now align and calibrate your steering, which we'll cover in a separate video. If you are on a flat studio floor and do not want any suspension movement, you can use the lockout bars provided to lock the suspension. These are attached to the front of each suspension assembly using the mounting holes shown. If you are operating the system at high speed, you may wish to change the kick-up on the front drive end. Kick-up is a method of adjusting wheel traction and handling by changing the angle of the drive end. This is done by removing 2 screws on each side of the drive end and then rotating the suspension assembly. Once it is aligned, you can replace those 4 screws and tighten. You should only do this for your forward-facing drive end and ensure that your fast movement is also forwards. Your sports ends have now been fitted and you are now ready to attach your payload and align the steering, which we'll cover in a future video.